escalation in tensions, Iranian forces launched drones towards U.S. warships following an attack on an Iranian commercial vessel in the Sea of Oman. The incident took place amid heightened maritime tension involving the Strait of Hormuz and the movement of international shipping vessels. Meanwhile, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) has claimed that U.S. forces stationed in the Sea of Oman were forced to retreat after firing at Iranian merchant vessel. Iran's Hazrat Khatam al-Anbiya military headquarters has confirmed the U.S. attack on an Iranian commercial vessel in the Sea of Oman, according to a statement carried by Iranian state media Tansim News Agency. The statement read that the aggressive America, by violating the ceasefire and committing maritime piracy, attacked one of Iran's commercial ships in the waters of the Sea of Oman by firing upon it and disabling its navigation system by deploying several of its terrorist marines on the deck of the mentioned vessel, the Iranian media has reported. The statement also warned of a response from Tehran. Donald Trump, in a post on Truth Social, said that the vessel, identified as Tuska, was intercepted in the Gulf of Oman by the USS Navy destroyer USS Spruance. The US president said that a nearly 900-foot-long cargo ship was intercepted by the US Navy guided missile destroyer USS Spruance after it refused to comply with warnings. Donald Trump's remarks come amid heightened tensions in the Strait of Hormuz, with the U.S. president accusing Iran of violating an ongoing ceasefire agreement and disrupting maritime traffic in the region. Well, a major escalation as Iran rejects second round of talks in Islamabad. Tensions again continue to escalate amid the fragile ceasefire in West Asia. And amid the escalation, Iranian forces have retaliated, launching drone toward the U.S. warship following an attack on an Iranian commercial vessel in the Sea of Oman. The incident took place amid heightened maritime tensions involving the Strait of Hormuz. Iran had rejected the ceasefire talks, claiming that they will not come to the negotiating table until U.S. blockade is in place in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran retaliates after U.S. intercepted and seized an Iranian-flagged cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. I am being joined by News9 Managing Editor Kartike Sharma is with me on the phone line. Kartike, major escalation in the West Asia region. Once again, tensions are running high in the Strait of Hormuz after U.S. seized a cargo Iranian ship. Iran has now retaliated.
I think what is happening is that before the talks, both the countries are taking maximalist position. And they're taking maximalist position so that they can argue from the position of strength. Like, for example, Donald Trump has said either you take the deal or you just, be prepared for war. Iranians are saying that we are prepared for war. Either you accept our terms or, okay, you are prepared to face the heat in Hormuz, higher crude oil prices, more attacks on GCC nations. Even Indian ships got attacked. So what Iran is trying to do is to coerce pressure on neutral countries so that they can pressurize America. And what America is doing is to pressurize Iran directly so that it builds under pressure. Now, it's like a bargain. One has to give in first. But the problem with Donald Trump is that apart from getting a substantive deal, he needs to come home as a winner. Now, that's where the problem is coming, that optics, that he needs to get a good deal and sell it to his people back home, that, he has done a great job as a president and the war has been fruitful. Though a lot of Americans don't believe that the war has been fruitful. And I think that is where the problem is, Nancy.
Well, that's right, Kartike. And now that Iran has rejected the ceasefire talk, they have refused to come to the negotiating table, stating that they will not come to the talks until and unless a U.S. naval blockade is in place. Now, what happens to the fragile ceasefire in the West Asia with tensions erupting in the region?
The ceasefire will remain. There is already a ceasefire. There is no war in Lebanon. There is no war in Iran. There is no war between Israel, America, and Iran. What is happening is they are fighting over Hormuz. Basically, what Iranians are saying is that we need to tax Hormuz or you give us money. What are the three sticking points? The first sticking point is that you have to desanction us. The second sticking point is you have to give us our money, which you have frozen for the last 30 years. The third sticking point is, which Americans believe, well, what about the fissile material? We need to take it home, because then what is the political objective of the war? Why did we come to Iran? Because Americans have in their declared objective said that neither Iran can have a ballistic missile program nor they can have nuclear missiles or missile material. So their political objectives publicly need to be addressed. So how do you do that? Iran says you cannot take it out. So if you cannot take it out, you cannot use it, then someone needs to be responsible for it within Iran. But Iran will not allow foreign boots on ground. These are the sticking points. Unless and until these three sticking points are resolved, I don't think anything is going to happen.
Karthikeya, apart from these sticking points, do you think that the strategic objective of the war is still, from the US and Israel side, is to change the regime in Iran?
See, at the end of it, to close this argument, I would say that the desired objective was to close the regime, but that did not happen. The desired objective was to ensure that the Ayatollahs are not there. That did not happen. The desired objective was that the people of Iran would rise, but that did not happen. Neither of those objectives have been met by Americans. That is why they need an off-ramp, which means that they need an exit route, and I think the exit route will happen.
Thank you so much, Karthikeya, for joining me on the broadcast with those insightful insight. For now, tensions remain high in Strait of Hormuz. US has intercepted and seized an Iranian flagged cargo ship, and reports are coming in that Iran has now retaliated, launching a drone attack at US vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Iran's first vice president, Mohammad Reza Arif, has warned that stability in the Strait of Hormuz comes at a cost, stating that the country cannot be expected to ensure maritime security while facing restrictions on its own oil exports amid escalating tensions with the United States over the seizure of an Iranian vessel. In a post on X, Arif said that the security of the Strait of Hormuz is not free. One cannot restrict Iran's oil exports while expecting free security for others. He added that the consequences of continued pressure would be global in scale, particularly for energy markets. Arif further stressed that long-term stability in fuel prices would require an end to external pressure on Iran. The remarks come amid escalating tensions in the region following Iran's confirmation that a US operation targeted an Iranian commercial vessel in the Sea of Oman. Iran's Hazrat Khatam al-Anbiya military headquarters, in a statement carried by Iranian state media, accused the United States of violating the ceasefire and committing maritime piracy, and said that a ship had been seized.